Hello everyone, welcome to the session. I am Mr.P.Y.Kumbhar. Today we want to see business ethics management. The learning outcome of this topic is at the end of the session, student will be able to explain the concept of business ethics management. Contents of these topics are first we want to see what is the means of a business ethics management, and then second we want to see what are the typical components of the business ethics management. Business ethics management, everyone pause the video and recall how many stages are present. There are basically two stages are present. We will be discussing about the tools and techniques of a business ethics management and the rules of various agencies in ensuring ethics in corporation. Before we begin off with the topic, let us first understand why the business ethics management is important. Business ethics, as we have seen from the previous discussion, has become so important for smooth running of the business. Now, so important for the image management or reputation management of the business in the mind of the stakeholders at large now. Because the stakeholders are always trying to keep a watch on how the business is doing what and what it is giving as an outcomes. So business ethics, the practice of a business ethics within an organization cannot be left to the chance, and it has to be managed properly by the corporate. That is why business ethics manage become very important, because business house constantly are facing questions like what care is it taking of its employees, what is the nature of its relationship with the suppliers, have it taking care of the environmental process, like is it polluting the environmental, does it play its employees well, are the employees following core ethical practices, why in the business are the top managers ethical enough. So these type of questions are constantly being asked, and the organization gets served upon these questions to answer to these questions in a proper way. And to see that the business follows ethical practices and principles which guides its business practices in the present, business ethics management has become very important, and it is a gives the whole race to a whole new field of professions where we find ethics professionals, ethics advocates, ethics consultants, ethics managers who help the organization in managing the ethics properly. Now let us models of today's discussion. Today we will discuss on tool and techniques of ethics management and role of various agencies in ensuring ethics in corporation. So the discussion is adapted from the book of Crane and Matten by Oxford University Press. Now we want to see what is a business ethics management. So business ethics management is the direct attempt to formally or informally manage ethical issues or problems through specific policies, practices and programs. So the three words are very important: through the specific policies, practices and programs. If there are only policies and no practices and programs, then the ethics, the way the ethics management is done may not be proper. If there are only practices and programs, but those are not guided by the sound policies in place, then also people do not have a guidelines of what is expected in the organization and how it is answering to the needs of the stakeholders. So the management of ethical issues and problems through the specific policies, practices and programs are those three together define properly the business ethics management. And it is a direct attempt by the organization to formally manage or informally manage ethical issues. Now, typical components of the business ethics management: mission or value statement, codes of ethics, reporting the channels, risk analysis and management, officers and committees, ethics consultant, auditing, accounting and reporting. Here, how the organization are dealing with the business ethics management. What are the steps taken to manage ethics properly? Where is the from organization to organization, and till date there is no such a concrete research done which shows like these are the exact steps written for the business ethics management. What we present over here are the collection or results of a service done from various organizations and listing of some of the practices which are being followed by the various organizations. So let us see what these practices are. The first step of the business ethics management, if you see, is a mission or value statement. Second, it is a codes of ethics. Third, reporting or advice channels. Fourth, risk analysis and management. Fifth, ethics managers, officers and communicators. Sixth, ethics consultants. Seventh, ethics education and training. Eighth, stakeholder consultation, dialogue partnership programs, and ninth, auditing according to the reporting. We will discuss each of these steps separately, and then we will try to find the linkage also between these components, if possible, to which I want to show also the seriousness of the organization towards the business ethics management. When we talking of missions or the value statement, these are in the missions or value statement of the organization. What it wants to be, what it these are the statements which focuses on which like expresses what the organization wants to be or what it wants to do, and what is the mean for what is the purpose of the organization. Say mission and value statement, these business ethics issues may also be ingredient, but suppose by stating we want to best retailer by providing the best of goods of reasonable rates to the society at large. Or suppose you want to give the best services by following the best practices within these types of a word, if written shows like the company is towards following services and also their intention to deliver quality of a goods and services to the society at large without providing much harm to the society or to do the environment. So this type of a things, if mentioned above, shows its certain orient extent, the orientation of the organization towards the business ethics. So many things could be written in a value statement, in mission and vision statement, but whether they are truly followed within the organization needs to be investigated to understand what the organization is telling it is done exactly doing it or not. Second, to check like whether the organization is actually trying to follow what is expressed like to do is whether it is actually doing what or not, that can be cross checked. Here the codes of a conduct or the codes of ethics in details in the next few slides. So the codes of ethics as well as written or not, what are the different codes of ethics written? What are the different explicit level it is written or not? So this thing tells seriously for the organization towards the business ethics management. So third important component that we have here is the reporting or advice channels. So it is truly followed within the organization, there must be become reporting channels or advice channels through which how to act and a code of ethics, how to follow it properly. So the study of this information channel will show like it is not only written as a code of ethics, but it getting followed in the organization also. Now risk analysis and management shows the system there is a place of analyze the risk involved and how the organization is managing it. So when we are talking about the risk involved, we are not only focusing into the financial risk involved, but also the organization takes care the ethical risk involved. So it is planned to manage it, whether there is an institutional system in a place to look after to audit for what other ethical risk involved in the like decisions taken and chosen for executing certain actions for the organization is thinking of managing it. Next component, whether there are ethics managers, officers and committees formed in the organization to deal with the things like risk analysis and management to see the practice are followed properly. So detailed code of the ethics. So whether there is a formally body within the organization who are there to take care of these issues. So this shows again the seriousness of the organization towards the business ethics management. If positions is there, then officers and committees take to deal with the ethical issues that faced by the organization. So we can understand, we get hint of the like how organization is about business ethics management. The organization to formulate like at a different position ethics manager, officers and committees. So here to check with the role of a responsibility given to some officers whether they have also to take care of ethical issues or not. So if there is a separate role created, then we are understand it prominently. But if there is a no such a separate role created due to some constraint, mainly resources constraint faced by the organization. So we can think of exercising and managers or leaders whether this also as a part of the role responsibility or not. So the external consultant who are coming into the advise the organization about the ethical problems that would be there in the process of their doing the business and help them to solve the problems. So why the ethical consultants are there? So this would be like in some organization, maybe there is no internal system like roles like ethics managers, officers and committees. So in this organization, ethics consultant can come to advise the organization about proper ethics management. So in some organization may work together to find out surveys of issues that may crop up in future. Or this complexity and we are doing right things in the right way. So what we see, if we already discuss about this, we are talking of corporate citizenship behavior, when we are talking of a corporate accountability and transparency in the last discussion whatever we done. The references for these topics are, thank you.